Hey guys, it's your boy, the director, Con House of In Your House, and I'm here to let you know about a small business that produces beard products and also supports small stage, independent, professional wrestling stars. It's called Ring Master Beard Company. Try one of their several scents, beard oils, balms, or mustache wax, and keep your beard looking and feeling sweet. Purchase your favorite wrestlers or personalities' personalized scent, and they receive a portion of each sale. And with that being said, don't forget to pick up a bottle of the Director in Alakan House Special. Your boy, a blend of eucalyptus, mint, and tea tree oil. Have your beard feeling fresh. Have your beard feeling smooth. Just like your boy, the Director. Follow Ringmaster Beard Company on Twitter and Instagram at Ringmaster Beard, or on their Facebook page, and that is Ringmaster Beard Company. Check it out. Get your beard cream. Hit your beard with that. Because sometimes being a master in the ring means mastering your beard. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We is them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. Yeah. And your house is the perfect distraction. Yeah. Poppers in your ears when you in traction. Yeah. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smooth. What's up, guys? You already know them vibes. Hollywood House, in your house. We here. We ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are ready to make a movie, because I'm here to talk a little professional wrestling. And guys, it is our New Year's episode. We are here in the new year. Well, not quite, but you guys know the vibe. We're almost there. 2024 Hollywood House, in your house. We are back. I got my man over here, Hypocrisy Jones. What's up, brother?
Yo, what up, man? You saw me swerving to the intro, right?
In there, bro.
Yeah.
In
there. Yeah. Yo, we starting off 2024 in a big way, right? Or we finishing off 2023 in a big way, right? And we got a whole lot to discuss right here on In Your House. In this In Your House, what we calling this? The Super Chat, Super Sunday, Super New Year's. Just it's whatever we call it, man. It's about to be lit.
Big. It's big, bro. Big episode, big energy. And of course, with that big energy, we bring in my other co-host. And of course, that is the voice, Josh Joseph. How is it going, brother, man?
Yo. I'm doing great. I'm here with my friends, my creators, the guys who have brought me to the dance. And I can't wait to talk about all things wrestling with the household.
Absolutely, man. It's going to be great. We also have P. Paragon, the world's most dangerous podcaster, here. He's going to be joining us. But, man, there he is, and he's here.
Hey, there he is. You say his name, and he appears.
You say his name, and he appears.
That's
world's
my best
most
friend.
Dangerous podcaster, Paragon.
In training.
Happy New Year, brother, man. Happy New Year.
What's up? How y'all doing? Hope everything is kosher. As they said, I'm the world's most dangerous podcaster. I'm always angry, and I am ready to turn the fluff up into the new year. And y'all know that today is 12/31/23. So it is literally 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So
look at that palindrome.
Oh, there we go.
Pulling it out. What up, the Lou in the chat?
The Lou,
already.
Yeah, we got the Lou in the chat.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it here over on Twitch, as we usually are, y'all. We are on Twitch. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook Live. Come join us to celebrate the coming of the new year, and we talk a lot of professional wrestling. That's what brought us to the dance. That's why we here. That's why we got hype here. That's why we got voice here. That's why we got the world's most dangerous podcaster, Paragon, here, because we are here to celebrate, be reflective of this past year in professional wrestling, this past year that we've had, and look forward towards what is going to be a glorious and beautiful new year for wrestling, for In Your House, for everybody here. And we wish that on y'all, the household, to have a great year, to have a prosperous year, to have a successful year, to have a year where you just live your life. And I know that's what I'm doing right now, celebrating, living my life. I'm vibing. I'm on vacation now after a crazy peak season at my shoot job. And now I'm here right where I want to be at, with my homies, with my brothers, talking professional wrestling, ringing in the new year the right way. We doing it early for y'all, for the folks out there that are, going to be sliding out for y'all's evening. And if you are sliding out for your evening, make sure that you are safe. Make sure you're not drinking and driving. Make sure you got a ride home, and whatnot.
They're everywhere is what he's
And be
saying.
defensive, man. Be defensive. Drive defensively. Real talk. Like,
And get some stank on your hang down consensually.
there you go. Do it consensually. I listen,
Consensually, that is the consent matters. As if you follow on Kokomo Press,
brother, man. I am
matters.
locked in to some New Year's booty. So, as we when we talk pro wrestling here, we had an interesting weekend, to say the least. I mean, I don't know anyway else to put it as far as things that's going on. We had World's End. World's End was an
Yeah.
event that went down last
Something
night
ended.
for AEW. Oh my goodness. So World's End was a show that happened, and AEW's very well known. Listen, y'all, we're not dancing around this. I promise we're not dancing around this, y'all. Like, we know, like, we know. But it's a show that went down last night that we're actually, like, some good stuff happened. Like, come on, bro. Like, can y'all just be solid? Like, some good stuff happened. You know
Dance
what I'm
around.
saying?
Look, Con. It is okay if we dance around things, because look, last night some things were danced around like really big. Really big things were danced around. I don't know if we're gonna touch on all of those things.
Either.
No, we ain't talking about Prince Nana. There's a whole lot of things going on in the world of AEW, and I don't know if they all good. But some good things happen, right? Some good things happen, and some things happen.
Listen, I would be remiss if I did not come here and congratulate Samoa Joe on becoming the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. I mean, come on, it's Samoa damn Joe. That man
Right?
is incredible and has been incredible throughout the span of his career. I can't listen. I know the stuff that's going on, but I can't ignore Samoa Joe being a world champion once again. That's got to hold some weight. It just has to. Just has to. P, what do you think?
I think Samoa Joe is the champion that we deserve. Whether you are an AEW fan, WWE fan, wrestling fan, he's a champion that AEW and all of us deserve. That's no flack on MJF, but from a business standpoint, Samoa Joe is showing that not only is he a brand, but he is a brand that does not need AEW.
No.
He currently has a video game coming out that he's doing voice acting for.
Yeah.
Okay, tell him, P.
Of Twisted Metal coming out. Picture him going to both the gaming and the series premiere, walking those red carpets with that big, beautiful AEW world title on his shoulder. And granted,
Come on, somebody.
MJF was doing the same thing for Iron Claw, but at the same time, though, we got a wink and a smile. We got a cup of coffee of him, in the movie. And that's not a spoiler. He said that himself. He came out saying it. But what I'm saying is, like, Samoa Joe, he can look menacing and threatening while still in the suit, but still look professional. He can cut you down and hit you with promos that make you feel like you being mad, disrespectful, and you hurt my feelings. At the end of the day, though, it's still professional. The big thing about Samoa Joe is professional. He is consistent. He is that dude. I love him being champion, and I also love the fact that right now in the history books, the only person that can say that they have been ROH heavyweight champion, NXT champion, Impact Wrestling champion, or TNA Impact, whichever you want to call it, and AEW World Champion is one Mr. Samoa Joe. And he has a whole bunch of accolades to his name, but being the face of a brand solely belongs to Samoa Joe. I love it. I love to see it. I mean, he's one of my wrestling heroes. I love the fact that we get to celebrate with this dude. Now, do I think he's the one that should have took the title from MJF? Different conversation. Am I glad? Very much so.
Absolutely, man.
I think we're all happy for Joe right here, right?
You got to be. And like, you think about the circumstances of everything that has happened with MJF, and I've even said myself, like, I'm like, sometimes I feel like the last run of MJF is a little all over the place, you know, but I also understand the fact that apparently he's been working with injuries. Apparently, you know, it's just been a lot on him. Understandable. I respect the man for at least trying to see the story through till we can get to the point where we do the pop off. We all know now that it was Adam Cole, which I don't know. That was like, all right, you're a little on the nose almost, but right. You know, whatever. It is what it is, and it could still be great. But it's just for me. The way that the title got handed off works, and like P was talking about, so much things that this man's got going on. Like that Sweet Tooth character really did a lot for his trajectory, I feel like. And now with the voice acting that he's doing work, like you said, in the gaming community, and now, you know, streaming and whatnot, get involved as Sweet Tooth. The Lou is MJF leaving. We can talk about that. That's a good question. But to finish the thought, I just think right now, with everything that's going on circulating, and after watching the media scrum of Samoa Joe, I think that if you're going to try to smooth over things that's happening, the noise that's happening around the company right now, Samoa Joe is the right guy, the right professional, I think, to slide right into that role and take that spot. Because when I watched his scrum last night, I was like, this man is just mad professional. I didn't feel like Tony was needing to chug water during this. He was able to relax and chill and know that Joe wasn't going to say anything too out of pocket. He was going to still be Joe, but he was going to keep it professional, you know. So we're going to see. It's definitely a transitional point in the company. And let me ask somebody who was watching the show, checking out the show, Voice, my man, brother, man, I want to ask you, during that situation when the title was transitioning and we saw the unveil of the Masked Men, what were your thoughts as somebody that's kind of been following this really heavy?
Look at me. I want you to fire me. You fucking Mark! Fire me!
That was my opinion. No. I was at first I was a little upset, but I mean, I sat and listened to P in pre-show, and he brought up some very solid points, much like Tony Gonzalez in the chat. Joe is our professional champion. Joe is the champion that after listening to Paragon talk, I feel that would have put AEW on a different wave. They might have been a little higher. There could have been a champion like Joe at the beginning of all of this could have squashed a lot of beef. He could have been that commander in the locker room. I'm pretty sure that he is a nice general just from his resume alone. But when it comes down to it, putting a belt on that guy who was speaking the loudest in the locker room, and never being in a locker room, this is just coming from my own thinking and hearing you guys speak and hearing all the, Sam speak. Right. When you have that, it carries more weight. I mean, and I'll finish it up with Paragon. He put it brilliantly, because everybody knows I'm an MJF mark. I'm here for it. I don't care. He could be taking a shit on the toilet and I'm watching live, because I think the dude can make everything entertaining. he's a great human. He's a great dude for this business, but he lacks, like Paragon said, that professionalism when he's cutting a promo, because you want this company seen by everybody. And when you're spouting off at the mouth and making it fun for just the guy sitting in their basement doing this fun, talking stuff, you kind of hinder the product.
Yeah, I see what you mean, and it was a good point that was made by P. I think we talked about that during show prep a little bit, which is a good point. And now we move into a new situation with AEW, everything that's surrounding them. We had Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. They had a match. There was a situation that I kind of saw where I believe Copeland set the table on fire, and then I think he was trying to put Wayne through the table, and he missed the table.
Yeah.
And like the table, like it was a weird situation. And I'm sitting over there looking at it, I'm like, oh damn, like if it would have been done right, then it would have been like, oh shit. But like I'm like, whoa, our man, like he just like flung that man. And I know he like I know little homie a lightweight, like I get that. Like, but like he just like flung that man. I'm like, God damn.
He was taking a thing out of Randy Orton's book. He would just throw people up for the back body drop.
Yeah. Like,
he would say, gravity got you.
Like, pew, bang. I'm like, oh, damn. I don't know. Like, what, seeing that spot, like, was it kind of like, did you have the same reaction as me, Hype, when you were seeing it, when you're like, oh, damn. Like, it was just weird.
No, actually, I'm looking right now to see if Nick Wayne is okay, because that brought me back. That was the first thing I thought was, oh God, he missed the table, and like he really missed the table.
He flung my man like,
yeah.
Oh God, that was interesting. And
his ass caught on fire.
Oh man,
that whole situation was crazy.
So what do we think about this show as a whole? Like with everything surrounding it, we already know, guys, we know the Jericho stuff, we get it. But with everything surrounding it, like with the lead up, the ending, the match quality, of course we know we had the situation with Swerve where it's like okay, it's probably, and I want to say a little bit like Tony Gonzalez saying Swerve will be champion 2024. I still think that's true. I'm not going to sit up here and say like the fact that they really didn't have anything for him going into this pay-per-view, little worrisome, but I think they'll pick it back up. I do. I just wanted to, there it is.
Yeah, look at that. He missed.
All right, sorry, it took me a minute to get that up there, but he really missed that table. I don't know about like if he has. It looks like there's no word on an injury or anything like that. Nick Wayne has
probably all right if we haven't heard anything by now.
Yeah, but man, no, that was I was worried about that young man's like well-being when I saw that. The first thing off it is, but I thought it was a good spot. They had some trouble with that spot. They couldn't keep the table lit. And so they had to go back and light the table a couple times. But I thought that was really interesting. But we got to start this show off with some awards, right? Don't we need to?
Yes.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
We have the IYH awards. We got those coming, and we were discussing we were discussing doing it at the end, but we also want to mix it up and kind of pepper it in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we got this AEW discussion. We're talking World's End. We are, once again, guys, not running from it. We know about the Chris Jericho stuff. But also we have to continue our Royal Rumble talk too, as was teased on the last episode of In Your House. And we're definitely going to talk about that. World's End went down. It happened, and now we move forward, because that's what this episode is all about. It's about being reflective, but then it's also about moving forward, and ahead of us is still the Royal Rumble. And before we discuss the Royal Rumble, let's go ahead and get one of our awards out of the way. These awards were voted on by you guys, the household. Y'all, you guys hopped on our page over there on Facebook. We put some polls out with y'all, and now we have those decisions, we have those results. Once again, this is voted on by y'all. We have our thoughts, our opinions, but the official award winner is going to be y'all, you guys, the household. So our first category that we got, I believe we did a wrestler of the year,
Men's
and
wrestler.
men's wrestler of the year.
Yes.
And we had what can somebody read off those nominees for me real quick? We had some really good nominees.
We had Jey Uso,
Jey Uso, okay.
Bryan Danielson,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
MJF,
Yep.
and Gunther.
And Gunther. Okay.
We also had Swerve Strickland and Seth Rollins as nominees.
Swerve and Seth was also on there. Okay. All right. That's right. So, all right. Do we got a drum roll? We don't have a drum roll, do we? All right. Can somebody give me a drum roll? There we go. And in your house, wrestler of the year, voted on by you, the household, was the WWE Intercontinental Champion, the Ring General, Gunther. There we go. That pick right there, that's a great pick. Y'all really was digging Gunther this year. You guys, the household. But we was digging Gunther too and everything that he's done. I know, like, it's hard to, I'm like, who am I throwing the rock to? Who am I throwing the rock to? Because everybody here loves Gunther. Like, we all love Gunther. But I'm going to go ahead and throw a no look over the hypocrisy. Bro, the household voted Gunther the wrestler of the year. What are your thoughts?
I like Gunther as wrestler of the year. I think it's a good, strong pick. I know that everybody in here voted Gunther. Let's see. I don't even know if I voted on this one.
I believe I voted Swerve.
Oh, no, I voted Gunther too. No, nobody voted for Swerve. According to the polls. Yeah. Gunther was hands down strongest pick. I think he had probably the best year. Also, shout out, congratulations to he and his significant other on their new child.
Yes.
That they just brought into this world. Best of luck to that kid, man, because if you saw the American Dad meme. I think overall, Gunther has had the strongest year out of anyone in this in this industry, at least mainstream wise. Strongest consistent, besides a man named Roman Reigns. And now he may be a little polarizing as far as, oh, he didn't wrestle that much, but like he stayed in everybody's mouths and all of that. So I give him that. But Gunther, hands down, men's wrestler of the year.
I'm not against Gunther being men's wrestler of the year. I think his body of work speaks for itself. I love what he brings to the table, and I've loved to watch his growth from his days back in NXT UK and him having such a long reign there. And then we kind of saw a glimpse of what he could be, because of course we all know that he was Walter. We all know that, but like now this transformation has happened, and he's just one of those guys that is like, it was a trust the process situation with Gunther, I believe, where it's like, we're going to invest in this guy. He is loyal to us because when his name got changed, bro didn't say a word. He just did the work. You know, when he was like, well, what are we going to do with him? How are we going to put him in and get him to take off? He was like, I'm down. I'm with whatever. I'm just going to do me. You know what I'm saying? And he's taken pretty much everything that's been given to him, ran with it, done well with it. I'm a big fan of everything that he brings to the table. I'm a big fan of his mentality as far as his work ethic. And I'm not against it at all. I'm not against it at all. I think it's a great pick by the household. P, what are you thinking? Gunther, in your house, male wrestler of the year.
So here's my thing. Gunther feels like the obvious choice. I myself voted for Gunther. I feel like it kind of just depends on what we want to base off of wrestler of the year. Because for me, I'm thinking who had consistent bangers of matches, whether it was TV pay-per-view. I'm thinking who delivered on every single occasion, no matter what match they were in. And I'm also thinking somebody who was undeniable. And so the one person that I kept going back and forth with in my vote was Gunther or Jey Uso. And the reason why I was struggling with that is because look at Jey Uso's entrance alone. And I'm not even talking about now that the crowd is like, trained to it. I'm talking the very first match against Roman where he had that whole crowd going up, down, up, down, up, down. And they were in sync. That's that superstar level stuff. Yeah, Cody has his whoa. Seth Rollins gets the audience to sing his song, but you had the crowd not just singing, but it was like I was watching like a hip hop concert. Like y'all seen 8 Mile when everybody from the 213 put your motherfucking hands up and follow. That was the vibe it was giving, and he keeps giving that vibe. Granted, his booking is kind of now.
I mean, he has. To be fair, he has main event in his name, so he has to be pretty main event, right?
True.
Yeah.
I'm predicting.
To be fair,
I'm struggling between these two choices is because I'm thinking Jay's going to be the one to take the title off of Gunther.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
And I think that's why I'm struggling.
That'd be a great transition.
But I think Gunther showed that consistency and doing what you know to the best of your ability pays off.
Yes.
For somebody who's in the business, there are so many people that want to try new stuff that is either out of their wheelhouse or they haven't practiced enough, that they haven't got down packed. I myself have made that excuse. I had a moonsault recently, and I keep my butt on the ground. But with Gunther, he has this approach of less is more. He has this approach of, I'm going to give you my best at what I do and be so good at it, I don't have to step out of my wheelhouse. But when I do step out of my wheelhouse, be afraid because you may not realize it actually was in my wheelhouse. I'm not surprised he won Wrestler of the Year. Honestly, I feel like Pro Wrestling Illustrated should have gave him Wrestler of the Year. The work that he's put in, the matches he's put in, the quality. Anytime he's wrestling, he not only makes most of his opponents look like legit threats, even when they're barely getting offense in. So when they do get offense, it means something. But he also has a way of making people look good in defeat. Because I can personally say, it feels like the best Miz match we have probably had since his Dolph Ziggler IC title feud was with Gunther.
Gunther bring the best out of people.
He does, It's almost like an RIP The Fiend. It was like when people would wrestle The Fiend, he would change them. I feel like when Gunther wrestles people, he brings the best out of you, almost as if he requires that from you.
Yes.
And so
I think his character really does. It really does demand that. And like there's only one direction you can go with that. Gunther, super strong choice.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it was a hands down favorite. And it's just because not only of the matches he had, but it was a matter of what he did for those around him. Honestly, the only people I think that are hurting from Gunther is his stablemates, because it feels like they can't catch a win and he's getting all of them.
Yeah. And he's demeaning them in the process, because it's like I get it. It's like I want winners around me. If I'm winning, I want winners around me. So it's like that's absolutely the energy. I believe that Gunther is a great pick for IYH Wrestler of the Year, and I don't say this in jest. I'm saying this because I'm really thinking of it. I mean it. Like Gunther, when I think of Gunther, I do, for me, see some shades of like a little Samoa Joe in him, like that's an absolute punisher, but he's a little swaggy though. Like I think Gunther got a little swag to him when he comes out in the suits and stuff, and he talks with conviction. And that's one thing I like about Joe too, is that when he says something, he means it, and you know that he means it. And that's the same vibe that I get from Gunther, is that when he's talking to you and he's saying something, he's really believing what he is saying. So Gunther is somebody who I believe in 2024 is going to possibly be back in the running for Wrestler of the Year, and maybe even on a grander scale as well, as he should be. I believe that's a great pick by you guys, the household, and that is the WWE Intercontinental Champion Gunther. But we have to keep this episode going. We have more great categories as we continue this episode. But while we want to talk, we talked a little bit about continuing our discussion of the Royal Rumble, and we really need to, because there's a lot of speculation of things that's going on. I really want to dive deep into the Women's Royal Rumble, because on the last episode of In Your House, we really didn't get a chance to, but now we're starting to see some things, a little hints here and there. We have Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné taking pictures in front of videos of Triple H. We have AJ Lee trying on her long Converse boots that she would wear during her wrestling run. We're seeing her try that. That's on her IG and whatnot. Like, we could really see some interesting things happen in this Women's Royal Rumble. But I want to ask you this. I want to ask you this voice. I know we've seen this sheet going around and whatnot of the order of the Rumble. That's whatever.
Mhm.
Who do you think are legitimate contenders to win the Women's Royal Rumble in 2024?
Oh, well, legitimate. I think more in like who's going to push the story further for the women's division. And honestly, right now, I think you have a hot ticket with Bayley and what's happening in Damage Control.
Okay.
And the separation that needs to happen for Bayley to continue her own personal story from Damage Control. To me, as a fan and a fan of Bayley, I think right now is the best time to do that because of what you've brought in with everybody else in that group. So now Bayley has already done her work there. It's people talk about Damage Control.
Yeah.
And now what? I mean, it would be exciting because you have the possibility of Sasha coming back. You have the possibility of Jade making her first appearance.
Yes.
So there's gonna be other players in the women's division right now, and what we have the Royal Rumble, or we have Royal Rumble, then we're gonna have WrestleMania. What better than Bayley winning a championship at WrestleMania? Because
I think
she can get heat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I honestly think, and sorry to interrupt you there.
No,
I honestly think that with the foundation that Bayley has laid out for talents like Io Sky, for talents like Dakota Kai, even in injury, like she brought them in and was like, hey, let's do something to get you guys relevant. Now look, Io is champion. She's in the mix, and I think that for Bayley, that was very giving of her. And I hear all the time people say you got to give back to the business, and when a lot of time when you give back to the business, it'll give back to you. Well, what better way for Bayley to be rewarded for her selflessness to bring more light on talent than to have her moment at WrestleMania? So, I mean, it's a good pick. There's definitely still other names in the mix there that could win it. That could win it. P, you look like you're thinking over there, man. What are you thinking about this Women's Royal Rumble? What are your thoughts?
I agree with Voice that it needs to be Bayley. But it's a complex situation because if you think about it, Bayley is Roman Reigns. Since Roman created the bloodline, Bayley created Damage Control. Damage Control has been a menace to the women's division on both Raw and SmackDown in their own rights, their own, areas, right?
Yeah.
So then you take that, and by the looks of it, Bayley's about to turn face, something she has not been in years.
Yeah.
Which now we get to see, what does it mean for Bayley to be face? Again, in this now light, because, you know, I'm pretty sure she's not going back to the side pony.
No, I don't see that. No.
And it wouldn't make sense at this point. And so,
no, let's go backwards. No.
So we get to see what it looks like
more
with
hugs.
Bayley as a face. But I feel like she goes through a similar Jey Uso redemption arc.
Yeah.
She has to fight alongside people she caused injury to or caused losses to and stuff like that. She has to earn people's respect. And honestly, if I'm WWE, Bayley doesn't win at Mania. Bayley wins the Rumble. Bayley keeps fighting her redemption arc all the way to Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Bayley loses at Mania.
Okay.
And then after Bayley loses at Mania, then Bayley gets to have that nice, beautiful moment, the very next pay-per-view, where it's that, you know, if you lose, you don't get a shot at this title ever again, and you have to go to a different brand. And we've seen that with Gunther now. Gunther has, I think, 2 or 3 times now, whenever he beats him, if I beat you, you don't get another shot. So now we're trained to it. So they say the same thing to Bayley. And we know that, you know, the draft may be coming up or whatever, and then that's when Bayley gets the win. But she doesn't get her Mania moment, because the thing is, you need that moment at the end of her match where you saw her fight so hard and the monster she created was too much. And she's sitting on the apron with her head down in defeat. And it goes from defeat to, I know what I have to do now. And we get to see that next month, all the work she's putting in to take down Damage Control to make it's about to be a one-on-one, just me and Io. And if certain rumors are true and are correct, Bayley does all the work she can to fight down Damage Control. We get Bayley versus Io, and Damage Control still runs out anyway. Bianca runs out to try to help. Numbers game is too much. Then you have Shotzi run out, try to help. Numbers game is too much. Then you might have another, you know, baby face. You have Mia Yim. You have Mitchin run out. Numbers are still too much. We started even up the odds. And then Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné, whichever one she's going to go by now, comes out. If this rumor ends up being true, she evens the odds, and that's what helps Bayley get her moment. But the next show, we get to have, there is no Damage Control, there is no help. Bayley has to win it one-on-one. She has to do it herself, and we get to finally have that moment of Bayley did it. That's how I'm booking it, but I'm also booking it that way because I honestly feel there is no choice right now that it makes sense for. There's no choice right now that I think deserves it more, and there's no choice right now I think that wins that without pissing people off. Because as much as I love Bianca, you have Bianca win, you're going to pretty much put her even more deep in that Super Cena category. And that
Jane Cena.
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
If you have, I think, anybody other than Bayley win, so many people are going to be like, why or who or what are they? Like, the only thing I could think of is potentially having Raquel win to finally get that, you know, lick back on Rhea Ripley. But at this point, it just feels unnecessary because you've already lost how many times?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, for me, Bayley is a great pick. Hype, where are we at on the possibility that the winner of this thing could still end up being Becky Lynch?
Oh, I think that's where my head is, to be honest.
Really?
I think my head is Becky would probably win the Rumble, challenge Rhea, because that makes the most sense for her right now. Because and in my mind, it's because, all right, the Damage Control storyline, it's kind of like it doesn't need a Rumble winner
But does
to
another Rumble win to justify getting a title shot, it's Becky Lynch we're talking about, the man.
Absolutely. Once again, I still think that she's in the mix. I mean, I'm not saying that she's absolutely going to win.
I feel like she's final 3.
Yeah, I mean, so this is where I'm torn because, like, if I'm looking at it at a logical standpoint, I'm like, all right, maybe they want a way just to have Becky versus Rhea. Becky winning the Rumble would be kind of a lazy, easy way to do that, because the winner of the women's Rumble has to be the person that faces Rhea, in my mind. And that's basically because I feel like you can use Elimination Chamber to button up the damage control stuff. You could use Elimination Chamber to even debut a Mercedes Moné, or any other factor that goes into, you know, what may come in the future. But, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. My brain is telling me that Becky Lynch right now, but then if I'm pulling for somebody, I really do want to pull for a Bailey, but I would rather pull for a surprise.
So a surprise would be good. Who we got? What's some surprise options?
I mean,
NXT, AJ Lee, Mercedes Moné are a couple surprise options. Anybody who's a returning legend.
Yeah,
I would like to see Tiffany Stratton
debuting.
Maybe they have big plans for Jade in this. I don't hate Bianca winning the Rumble. I don't hate it at all. But I don't know how she utilizes it to advance herself, unless they're finally going to pull the trigger on Bianca and Rhea.
So here's my thing, Pop. Here's my thing. The only way, rhyme or reason, I'm okay with the Rumble winner challenging Rhea is if Bianca wins. If it's Bianca winning and we finally get the face off we never got, okay, cool. But outside of that, I disagree with you. I don't think that the winner should challenge Rhea. I don't think the winner has to challenge Rhea, because there's the argument of Rhea saying, I've beaten every woman now on Raw except for Becky. And on top of I've beat every woman on Raw except for Becky, there also is the caveat of, why do we need an Elimination Chamber to determine that, for Io? Because in my opinion, you could have an Elimination Chamber of Becky saying, you haven't beat me, well, you still got to earn a shot against me in Elimination Chamber. Becky wins the Chamber, #1 contender. Or on the other end of that, Becky doesn't have to do a chamber, because Becky's like, I'm Becky fucking Lynch, and you haven't beaten me. If you claim that you're mommy, you can be mommy, I'm the man. Mommy versus the man. Come get this work. Whereas on the other end of it, I wouldn't waste Mercedes Moné debut in the chamber, because then Mercedes can't win.
Right.
Can't debut Mercedes in the chamber and she can't win. She can't win. So you're debuting someone simply just to lose. I feel like that would hurt the debut. And that's already
for bringing her in at Royal Rumble. Like, you could always do something like that, and it's okay to get eliminated. Like when AJ
got a loss.
Yeah, like when AJ Styles debuted at the Royal Rumble, he didn't win that Rumble, but we don't remember the fact that he didn't win that. We remember that he debuted. So
whereas when it comes to if Bayley wins the Rumble, right? Bayley wins the Rumble and is still on the side of damage control. So we think.
Right.
And now they change, because they go from low-key treating her like crap leading all the way up to the Rumble to then she wins the Rumble and it's all, hey, Bayley, yeah, we friends and stuff like that. You're going to challenge Rhea, right? You're going to challenge Rhea, right? And then either A, Bayley's taking too long to decide, or B, Bayley's going to choose Rhea, and then someone plays some footage of damage control saying some crap.
Talking some shit, yeah.
And Bayley's like, nah, I want all the smoke. That's the only reason why I'm saying I don't think Becky should win the Rumble, because I feel like you're giving Becky a second Rumble win when you could allow yourself to have a first-year winner. And you're setting up a match that does not need the Rumble, because low-key, it doesn't need the chamber either. And it's just because of the build of, like, honestly, I think the chamber matches this year, one, Seth, you have to have it be Seth because he's your workhorse champion.
Right.
And it's been a long time since we've had a heavyweight title defended in the chamber. So 1, Seth. 2, I say Gunther. To add to how dominant he is.
That would be a big one for Gunther.
Exactly.
And put everybody that he's faced over the past year, like put your Chad Gable, put your put Miz in there. Who else had a hot
Ricochet? You could put
Yeah.
Bronson Reed. And the thing is, and you have Gunther say, and I'm coming in at number 1.
Yeah.
Oh, this man win the thing.
Oh yeah. And he dominates.
That would be nasty. That would, oh my god.
So,
like that would.
And so to me, those are the 2 chamber matches that you want and that you need. You could potentially have the women's tag title chamber match, or the men's tag title chamber match, so that way you get more use out of the thing. But in my opinion, and not this is just mine, when it comes to the women's rumble, I think that whoever wins should be challenging Io, and that's why I think it should be Bayley. I don't think Becky needs another Rumble win. I don't think Becky needs the Rumble to face Rhea. I low-key don't think she needs the Chamber, but at least the Chamber is a way that you don't sacrifice the Rumble and have somebody win 2 times when you could have a new winner. And the only reason I'd be okay with a 2-time winner, and this is not me being a Bianca stan, this is a matter of, we talk about loving big, meaty men slapping meat. Big, buff mommies fighting each other. That's what I want right there. I want Rhea versus Bianca if we're going to have somebody challenge her from a Rumble win. But even still, it doesn't sit well with me. And not to kind of throw shade, but Rhea's title reign has kind of felt lackluster to me. So I feel like Rhea needs a big win. And I feel like a big win is beating someone like Becky or Bianca.
Do you think?
Yeah. Oh,
do you think that's on Rhea, or do you think that's on the actual on the women's division?
I don't think it's on the women's division. I think a lot of things, because we can talk about booking and this and that. When it comes down to it, it went from months without a title defense. Then it kind of became who you defended your title against. And then it became, okay, now I'm going to defend my title against everybody in a single match and beat all of them. And so it's like, well, you literally beat everyone. It also is a good point. Rhea probably should defend the title in the chamber because it is in Australia. But yeah, so it's just like you put yourself in this uphill battle where professional legend Raven talks about blowing your load. He compares wrestling matches to sex, and he says you don't want to blow your load in the very beginning. And it feels like with Rhea, you had her beat literally everyone but Becky. And so any match she has now against a wrestler is literally her just beating people she's already faced, or people that potentially should not be contenders yet. Like, I can't remember their names, but from Diamond Mind and from American Alpha Academy. The 2 women from both of those definitely aren't contenders, but found themselves in contendership spots to also lose. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Guys, we're having a really great episode here at In Your House. This is, of course, our New Year's episode, ringing it in right. We've already had a really great episode and some really great comments here. We appreciate y'all coming in, sliding through. And guys, we still got a lot more to go, a lot more to go. We've already talked about some AEW little World's End situations. We talked a little bit of the women's Royal Rumble, and we still have to speculate on the men's Royal Rumble. But before we do that, let's go ahead and do another award. Let's knock another one out. Let's do our little year-end thing here. And I'm looking and seeing what I want. There's a lot of great options. I mean, so many great options here. But I want to talk about the In Your House, oh shit moment of the year. And this is one that we've seen a lot of crazy things happen this past year in wrestling. But I'm going to name off some of our nominees, and then, of course, I'll name our winner. The nominees, one of them being CM Punk returns to the WWE. That happened this past year, Survivor Series. We have Hangman Page drinking Swerve Strickland's blood. Ooh, that's nasty. We have Edge signing with AEW. Big move there. The UFC and WWE merger that happened, the Endeavor situation. Jimmy turns on Jay Uso, and Rock returns on a random SmackDown. All solid competition there, but I do need a drum roll. Somebody can provide it.
It's a
And
world's
the
most
winner.
dangerous drummer as well.
That's right. And the winner of the IYH Oh Shit Moment of the Year, voted by you guys, the household, CM Punk returns to WWE at Survivor Series. Okay, I know I've already told this story on this podcast, so I'm not going to dive into the details. All I'm going to say is when I heard that man's music at the end of Survivor Series, as everything was seemingly going off the air, I was falling asleep on the couch. I jumped right up and I'm like, oh man, I'm sitting over here like, I can't believe this man is back. What is going on here? I was tired of talking about him. Voice, I know you were too, but those feelings have since changed a little bit as far as everything that's going down with CM Punk. Now he's really transitioned and is just seemingly trying to fit into the fabric of the way WWE does things. And right now, everything seems amicable. What are your thoughts on the household voting the Oh Shit Moment of the Year being CM Punk's return to the WWE?
Well, once we were in the chat and we came up with this category and then the nominees, I kind of knew because, I mean, come on. Let's go back in time. Everybody thought for years and years it was never going to happen. Everybody was saying who was involved. It's never going to fucking happen. You're never going to see CM Punk here, WWE again. Then it happens. And then he shocks the bejesus out of me and he falls in line. He realizes that this is my last hurrah. If my name is going to continue in some type of positive light, maybe it's time to listen to the guy who's taken over and brought me back in and talked to me. Not like the old guy. I don't think Vince, if Vince was running the show, he would have probably sent CM Punk a Dookie UPS style right to his house. I don't think Vince would have brought him in. I think Vince would have stuck in his heels in the sand on this one, just because there was so much shit that happened. But I am happy that CM Punk is doing the thing. He's coming back. He's listening. He's following. It seems like they do have an idea for him. And I'll end it with, man, we got a lot of people in the chat. Tony Gonzalez, thank you. Grunmeister, thank you. The Lou, the Bulkster, A Donkey, thank you. And like Lou said, hell froze over.
Yes, it did. It did.
Froze the fuck over, and Pepsi Man came to the stage, and I'm gonna eat my words, and he's doing it, man.
So we've talked on the show previously about the embarrassment of riches that WWE has as far as their talent pool right now. I mean, it is ridiculous. And we talked about how you fit CM Punk into that mix. And I think that the CM Punk that we're seeing now is more controlled. I mean, just from what I've seen so far, a CM Punk that has been in a situation. I mean, like, if everything, like, this is, for me, feels like some of that stuff. Like, I know he was trying to do good in AEW and do good for AEW, but I just think that, like, the situation was not ready for him and his voice. I think it's just like anytime you take a player that is generally a good player and you put them in a different situation. Like, let's think about when Dennis Rodman came to the Chicago Bulls. You know, Rodman was having, issues. I mean, this man tried to take his own life when he played for San Antonio. He played with the Bad Boy Pistons, but he didn't pop and he didn't get himself straight until he got with the Chicago Bulls and things started really clicking for him, especially under somebody like Phil Jackson. And like with Phil Jackson, it's the Triple H, Phil Jackson, same energy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I see it. So you have somebody, you take somebody who is just really passionate, really fiery and passionate, and you put them in a situation where they can thrive. Like I can see that CM Punk wants to teach young talent. I can see that he wants to cement his legacy with the next generation, which is, I mean, a smart lane to put yourself in. I mean, who you get remembered by the next generation. You know what I'm saying? And then they pass on your legacy after you're gone. We still see it. We still see it with people like Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes' name's always synonymous all the time. Everything like the impact that he had on many different generations other than his own. And I think that CM Punk sees that. Like, for me, I think that everything that's going on with Punk and WWE, it's just good timing. And I think that this is a great category to have put out there, just because wrestling's about moments. And like, that was a huge moment. And now we have so much more to look forward to for his next run, which at this point is looking to be a whole lot of positive. And I hope that it continues in that lane. Hype, our oh shit moment of the year, CM Punk returning to the WWE. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be real with y'all in the household. I think y'all all wrong. Like that is not the oh shit moment of the year. Although it made me say oh shit when it happened. I think the oh shit moment of the year is, and people are kind of like glossing over this, is the UFC WWE merger. And the deal that came in fruition that got Vince McMahon out of WWE. Y'all not see that? Y'all that happened. Like that happened. So CM Punk could happen. So all of this could happen. So they could have that plebly or that what would you call it?
Embarrassment of riches.
Embarrassment of riches. Yeah, all of this happened because of that, man. Like y'all, oh my god, yeah. For years, y'all, Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is out, and y'all didn't say oh shit to that. I'm household, bro.
Good point. I can't. I mean, when you're making some points, it's logical. I mean, but hey, the household voted for what they voted for. They're here for the magic that happens on the screen, and I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I'm really not against it.
I got you.
P. Oh shit! Moment of the year. CM Punk returns to WWE, voted by the household. Your thoughts?
I mean, I get why they chose CM Punk. The moment did make me say, oh, shit. What also made me say, oh, shit, was Edge actually going to AEW. Never thought I was like, oh, shit, really?
Yeah, that was big. That was big.
Then I had a no shit moment. The no shit moment was the merger. I was like, no shit. Like, really? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, Vince getting put out, technically, maybe that should have been its own category. Vince being kicked out of WWE. And the reason why I say that, because the merger caused it, but they weren't the same. The merger happened, and then the Vince thing happened. So I think that's kind of also one of the things is maybe if Vince got the category of Vince out of WWE, that could have potentially added to it. And then everything else was kind of like what the fuck moments. Like when I watched Jimmy attack Jay, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm also like, in this tribal combat, and everybody's fucking getting it. It says nobody can interfere. What the fuck?
Yeah, everybody get involved.
Y'all was in the room together. After y'all was swimming around in the sack and they got in the room together. Y'all ain't never been apart. God damn it. So
I couldn't do it.
Swerve drinking the blood had me like, what the fuck? What am I watching? This that shit. Shit. So that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes down to oh shit moments, I feel like the oh shit moments are probably Punk and Edge. And I think that's why Punk's gets higher, because no one thought Edge would leave WWE, but not a damn soul thought CM Punk didn't think he was going back to WWE. So I think that's why it got the oh shit moment. I feel maybe we were missing out on a category. Maybe if we put Vince being ousted, then maybe that's that's an oh shit moment right there, because that was, and also a no shit moment. So
yeah.
that's my take.
It's it's parameters and whatnot. I feel like with maybe some of the parameters were like, oh, what made you? And like you guys said, what made you audibly go, oh shit? Like I feel like with the merger's a great one, especially the outing of Vince and whatnot. But that mindset is like I felt like I was like following that story like really close. So like when things started really happening and moves started really making, I'm like, oh, it really happened. But it was almost like I kind of saw it coming almost because I followed it so heavy. But it's all about how you think about it, all about how you look at it. But for me, I really feel like CM Punk showing back up in WWE was just one of those moments that made me be like, "What the hell is going on? This man is back. What the fuck?" Like it was just a crazy moment. But that was the one that was voted on by you guys out there, the household. We do appreciate you guys coming and rocking with us. As Voice said, we've got some great traction in this chat. So many people coming and rocking with us before you guys head out for your New Year's. This is our New Year's celebration, and we're happy for you guys to join us. The awards will continue, but moving forward, we're gonna jump into the men's Royal Rumble match that's going down. Big energy right there as far as the men's Royal Rumble match. We just talked about CM Punk and his involvement in the match now that he is back in the WWE. And a lot of, I mean, there's a lot in the mix right now, man, as far as the Royal Rumble. Hype, what are you thinking? Who are some favorites for you? I know we've talked about this. It's going to be continued speculation. Is there any surprises that you think that we can see? Anything heating up? Like we're talking about all these things that's happening. We're monitoring what's happening with AJ Lee. She's posting pictures. Sasha Banks posting pictures. What's happening on the men's Rumble side of things? That's kind of like, where's the heat coming from? You know what I'm saying?
Like I've been saying it for I feel like all year now is that Gunther is going to win this Royal Rumble, going to headline WrestleMania in some capacity, and I got to stick to that. Gunther's still my guy, but it's a very, very polarizing Rumble right now with Punk, with Cody, with we don't know what any of Judgment Day will do, and man, so many different characters. Guys like LA Knight are a possibility. Long shot, but a possibility. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing, though. Like, I feel like there's so many actual contenders that could win it, and for so many different reasons. Do you want to reestablish somebody? Do you want to like somebody like a Gunther? Like I feel like for different reasons, you put Gunther in that category, you put LA Knight in that category, somebody that could benefit from winning the Rumble to take that next leap into stardom, and to get into that upper echelon. Or do you go with the sure thing? Do you go with somebody like a Cody? Do you go with somebody like a CM Punk? There's a lot of different ways that you can go with this year's Royal Rumble because of, once again, like I said, the embarrassment of riches that they've developed talent wise. I mean, this talent is crazy right now. The stories that they're weaving together, crazy right now. Like for me, WWE definitely hitting. We're going into a big WrestleMania season, and it's exciting. Voice, what are you thinking, man? What are you thinking about some surprises that we can see? Any legends that might pop up? What do you think we could see in this Royal Rumble that's going to keep it interesting? Because as somebody who I can say my favorite event by far, Royal Rumble. Yeah. Love WrestleMania, but Royal Rumble is it for me. So I'm always looking forward to this. What are you thinking as far as that can get us up out of our seat, bro? Some surprise names.
With surprise names, I'm thinking it's going to be more breakout moments between the guys that are here. I think we might have maybe one or two guys, and one guy it ties into the whole Punk thing with us all thinking Punk would never go. It becomes the oh shit moment of the year. And like you said, Punk even was like, oh, like, I guess we're doing this. He wasn't really expecting it. So I could see a possibility of Matt coming. Cardona,
Oh wow!
The only reason the only
I see
reason
that.
I'm saying it is because of the way they played the Punk thing, because they
Right.
were all over Twitter, places like that, saying this isn't happening. A lot of people that were connected in areas, they were saying that no, it's not going to happen. And it was like we were played because it's wrestling. That's what's supposed to happen. We're in an age of technology where it took all the fun of the mystery of waking up early Saturday morning and watching the replays because your parents wouldn't let you stay up late on the Mondays and the Thursday nights and all that, you know? So you got to watch that Saturday morning and you got to find out all the stuff. And then you went to the internet and what basically was just a dial up, and you found a page that downloaded for 2 hours and then you could get your information. You know, there was a work that went into it. Now you
Man.
could be sitting on your couch in your underwear eating Cheetos, and a friend sends you a link and you go, oh shit, well, now I know. I'm just saying there's a possibility it could happen, and that would be my surprise. But I think there's going to be breakout moments in this. I think we're going to get a great Dominic moment, and people are going to really. Dominic Mysterio is going to be even bigger than what he was this year, next year. And he's going to be a face of something. It's going to not just Judgment Day being a part of that. He's going to get a title, and he's going to make it very meaningful on his own. And he's going to start the separation of being with the group. And we're going to see what cool shit he can possibly do. I mean,
Man.
we've seen what he can do, but
Yeah.
I think a push that is going to show us what he's learned being with this fantastic group he's been with on his own would be really awesome for Dominic and for his fan base.
I like those thoughts, man. I think that with Dominic, it's having him do something breakout would be great, whatever that may be. I think that this Rumble really has big potential, honestly, to be a really great Rumble, depending on what you put together. And here's the thing: like the gap between time of what's going down between what's happened in Survivor Series, and then of course you guys out there know we have day one that's going to be going down tomorrow, Monday Night Raw. It's for me personally, just sidebar to talk to you guys out there. This is a great time to have all these great shows. It's a great time for me personally to be off for the next week because I can get a chance to watch all these great shows. So like it's gonna be I'm very excited for the week that we have coming up for you guys at In Your House. But I'm also excited about what we're doing here. This great conversation that we're having, talking about the men's Royal Rumble. We've got, once again, great traction in the chat. I'm always going to thank y'all. I will never stop thanking y'all for giving us a little bit of y'all's time, to come and talk to us, chat us up about wrestling. We're here rocking it on the podcast. We do appreciate y'all rocking with us on the podcast version. The podcast is always jumping, always popping. It's always consistent. Anytime I take off, I come back, hit the podcast back up. You guys are downloading. It's all love. It's all appreciated. We're talking a little bit of Royal Rumble, men's Royal Rumble, and it's coming up, y'all. Coming up at the end of January, as it does every year, usually about the week before the Super Bowl. And I think it kind of airs the same day as the Pro Bowl because nobody gives a damn about the Pro Bowl, especially with the Royal Rumble, the same day. P, what are you thinking about this year's Royal Rumble? What's your mindset as far as the energy going into this Royal Rumble and going into WrestleMania season? And what are your thoughts on what we can see as far as a winner in the men's Royal Rumble match?
Well, like you said, we're entering in WrestleMania season. The start of the road to WrestleMania is the Royal Rumble. And I feel like this is when people are really trying to show up and show out. People are trying to get their Mania spots, or people are trying to get their spots for the year. Because there are some people who aren't going to get their spot on the card and their time on the card. But what they might get is if they break out enough before Mania and they do what they're supposed to do and show what they're supposed to show, get the reactions they need, the rest of the year may be their moment. An example I give is Damian Priest. Damian Priest wasn't even on the card for WrestleMania last year. And then Money in the Bank, and then and then had that match with Bad Bunny and is currently tag team champion. You get what I'm saying? So
Yes.
sometimes the sacrifices you make can do a lot. Surprises I think we could potentially look for. I know they mentioned X-Pac, but what I'm thinking is based off of what we've been hearing on social media, I'm thinking we may get a Big E return.
Oh man, let it happen. Please let it happen. I'm really my God.
I'm knocking on wood that it happens. He's healthy, safe, and happy. And
yes.
Also another rumor, we might get a Batista return.
I'd be here for that too. Yeah, let me see a little Batista on my TV screen, bro. I'm not even joking. Let me see some Batista on my TV screen.
They're talking Batista actually for
day
one.
One.
Monday night for day one, yeah. But
let me see Batista on my TV screen. All right.
Would love Big E.
Yes, absolutely.
As well. 100%. But Brock Lesnar is another polarizing name that could be coming back, especially with the Gunther talks and things like that. So
yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah,
and that goes to my next point because you asked about the Rumble, the winners, and what we might see. Me personally, if I'm booking it, Gunther comes in at number 1 and makes it to the final 4.
Yeah, let's do that.
4. But
let's do that.
But here's your final 4, though. Your final 4 are Gunther, Jey Uso, CM Punk, and Cody. Now, if they're not doing Brock and Gunther, I have Jey eliminates Gunther with the super kick over the top rope. Gunther gets mad and literally grabs Jey and yeets him out of the ring and just starts brutalizing him because in his mind, you stole my opportunity from me. Okay. The other option is, like Jay's about to eliminate Gunther. Gunther eliminates him, and then Brock, who was not announced for the match, storms the ring, clotheslines him over the top rope, does the whole Lesnar shit, and then F5's Punk, F5's Cody, pterodactyl scream, and then leaves. So that way, y'all know when that boy screamed, he sounded like a pterodactyl.
It did.
So that's what I think happened. So if you're not setting up Jey and Gunther, and you set up Brock and Gunther, those are your options. Either way, Gunther makes it to the final 4, final 3, but doesn't get to have that beautiful moment. And then when it comes down to the who wins, Cody or Punk, it's hard because on one end, logistically, right? You're like, okay, does Cody need a second one, let alone back-to-back ones, right? But Cody's on Raw. Allows him to face the SmackDown champion and finish the story.
Yeah.
But you also have Punk. Do you really want to put Punk in the Elimination Chamber to become number 1 contender? Because that means now you're overexposing him because the Elimination Chamber is a pretty long match. Yes, it allows him to get reps in, but then what number do you have him come in at and a whole bunch of other stuff in that scenario? On top of that, Punk wanted a Rumble win, never got it. So you kill that bird with that stone. Punk wanted a Mania main event. So night 1 or night 2, you give him that match with Rollins. That technically gets him that main event spot. Now, people argue which one means more. Is it the Saturday main event or the Sunday main event? That's up to you. You still get a main event.
Yeah. Yep.
And so I don't know who wins between Cody and Punk because I feel like they both have reasonable gripes for why you should have either of them win. Thing is, if you have Punk win and you're going to take Cody and put him in the chamber, I need you to logistically help me understand how he's being put into a SmackDown chamber. Like, what is going on that you logistically have that happen? Is it Nick Aldis is pulling his whole I'm trying to sign more talent for SmackDown and stuff like that, or we did a trade or whatever? Like, you got to make it make sense for me because I'm all about logic and things making sense. But those are my 2 picks. It's either going to be Punk or Cody.
So a couple of thoughts on some of the things that you were saying. So I know a little bit early on in the show, we talked about Jey Uso being a good contender to take the title off Gunther. So I was thinking about the Final 4 that you were putting together when you were talking about the Final 4 being Cody, being Punk, being Gunther, being Jey Uso. And then we have we have Jay super kick Gunther over the top rope, and then Gunther gets pissed, pulls him over the top rope, which could possibly lead into. So I'm just weaving stories together here, possibly lead into a match between Jey Uso versus Gunther at Elimination Chamber. And this is me just tying together rumors here, and then possibly you even have him come down to the very end, like to where he is about to possibly beat Gunther, wins the title. Jimmy Uso comes, screws him over. Gunther retains. You start that build between Jimmy and Jay to go up against each other at WrestleMania, because that's what a lot of what I've been hearing as far as those two is those two going up against each other this year's WrestleMania. Now, as far as the Punk thing that you were talking about, you were saying have him. You don't want to overexpose him by putting him in the Elimination Chamber, and I agree with that. And the reason why is because at this point with Punk, you got to kind of be like give and take with them. Don't put him out there too much. You got to keep him pulled back a little bit. You don't want to put him on I don't know, I know there was that time when he first came through, he was on Raw, he was on SmackDown, and he pulled up to NXT. Now it's I feel like you got to pull him back a little bit. He don't need to be doing anything. He definitely don't need to be wrestling every week. He definitely does not need to be wrestling every week. As far as that goes, I think as far as your picks go, as far as your thoughts go, a lot of good thoughts as far as this Royal Rumble match, and really many different directions that we can go as far as moving into WrestleMania. I mean, we talk about the winner of the Royal Rumble match, which of course matters a lot, but we also got to think about the stories that we're telling around the Royal Rumble that are leading to other situations that will take place and manifest into WrestleMania. So a lot to think about. The Royal Rumble match is big. The Royal Rumble event as a whole is really big, and I'm really excited for it, as I am every year. We still got a lot to talk about here on In Your House, and we still have more awards to give away as we're going to continue.
Before we get to that, Con, I'm making a vote right now.
Okay, go ahead.
And you tell me if you vibe with it. Cody beats Roman. Damian Priest cashes in right after.
Ooh. Oh man. If that happened, my God, Priest would hate that man. It'd be the great voice. What do you think? What do you think about that scenario?
I think it's gonna piss off a lot of Cody fans if that happens. And I mean, honestly, if they're out there listening, WWE creative, and you've listened to Paragon talk, he's wrote you so many stories. He's wrote you the women's storyline. I mean, he laid it out perfectly. Listen to what he's saying. You're gonna get what you want in the viewership if you listen to it. But yeah, I would hate it, but God, it would make me want to watch just to see Cody get his redemption whenever it happens. But if it happens, man,
that would be wild. That's a wild thought. And that's, man, I that's why I vibe with what we're doing here, y'all. You know, we got some great traction here, and you got Grandmaster saying that it would be an insane moment. It absolutely will be. We appreciate you, bro. We appreciate you rocking with us. We're having a great time here in your house. I'm having a blast talking to home. Oh, is he? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, plug what and if you want to plug your stuff in the chat, bro, please go ahead. Like, this is a community. We're creating a community here. So like, if you do what's up, plug yourself, and we show love. It's all about love. It's all about community. We all love it.
We also got Bobby Munson from our local establishments jumping in.
Oh, okay. Hey, what Bobby. Is up? What's up, man? What is up? Appreciate you coming and rocking with us. We're having a great conversation here We've talked to AEW. We've got some awards out there. I mean, so much going on, and I'm excited for the podcast version of this. We've promoted it. We've had people sharing it, people ready for it to see where we go, what we do as far as the awards. The awards, I think, went off well, honestly. And that's something I would like to continue to do again, because I think as far as that, and as we grow and as we continue to grow, that we'll get more traction on that. It was a positive situation, and I'm happy to be doing the IYH Awards. And Bobby, we appreciate it. We appreciate the support. We really do. And I want to bring that up and say that because I want to continue our IYH Awards here with our next category, and I'm pulling that up right now, and that is, oh yeah, all right, we have the match of the year, the In Your House match of the year, and we have so many good ones here, man. Like, honestly, so many good ones here. We have Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. We have Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes 3, the men's Iron Survival match. We have MJF versus Bryan Danielson in an Iron Man match. Swerve and Hangman in their Texas death match. Charlotte, Rhea Ripley from this past year's WrestleMania, and the Omega and Ospreay series, Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay series. And man, a lot of good picks here, but there was one that ran away with it. Can I get my drum roll, please?
Yeah. I had to Batista. I'm sorry.
All right. So the winner of the In Your House match of the year, voted by you guys, the household, it was the Intercontinental Championship match between Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre. And let me tell you why. I honestly, with the quality of matches of the list I just went down, I'm gonna be honest. It's great as a match. That was an incredible match. I just thought it would have got overshadowed by some of the recent memory of some of these matches, like people talking about Swerve's match and Swerve and Hangman and their match, and then we just had the men's Iron Survival match, and then of course we remember the time of Omega and Ospreay and the great matches they were having. I just thought it was going to get buried under the avalanche of great matches. I'm happy to see that it wasn't. I'm a huge fan of the Intercontinental Championship. When I was a young man, when I first moved to Indiana, and I moved in with my girlfriend, now wife, and we were there. She was finishing college, and you're in a little loft apartment and whatnot. You don't got no cable or anything like that. So it was a little thing back in our days called DVDs. Yeah, I know. What's that, right? So I watched the Intercontinental Championship DVD, the best match of the Intercontinental Championship, on repeat all the time. I would sit there and watch it with my son when he was a baby. And so I have a love for the Intercontinental Championship and the legacy and the lineage of that particular title. And to see an Intercontinental Championship match win match of the year, that's just kind of special to me. So I respect it. I mean, there was just so many great matches. I mean, when I go back and I think about Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley, I was like, man, that shit was so good. Like, that was a banger. Like, so like, I don't know where I'm at with it. Once again, like, my heart is telling me like Intercontinental title, yes, but I'm like, I don't know if it's my match of the year exactly. But what are your thoughts, Voice, as far as the household picking the the match of the year as the Intercontinental Championship match, Gunther, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre. What are your thoughts?
I can understand them picking that match. It makes perfect sense. For me, though, I was purely with Paige Hangman and Swerve, because that match to me moved a lot of emotions from at the start wanting to see these two tie up and go at it and just, tear the house down, to the more it progressed, even I looked away when the blood drinking happened. I was kind of like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I think we've crossed a barrier, uh, but then they kept with it. I mean, I've incorporated that match into my show for logos and things like that. It was a fantastic match for me as a fan of like Sabu and Terry Funk and the Texas death matches, and then the C4 explosion matches over in Japan. I like those matches. They make me smile in a weird way. I enjoy them. I like that, but I could fully respect what the household picked. It makes perfect sense. And not a lot of people probably got exposed to that match that I chose. So I'm okay with it.
No, I get you. Got it. Yeah, you got to stand on your pick, and that's absolutely fine. The household, of course, they're the ones that had the final say, and they voted for a great triple threat match. That's not to say that match was not. I mean, incredible match, incredible match. Hype. What are you thinking about the pick from the household as far as their match of the year being Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus?
I like the pick. I think it's a really strong pick. It was a really, really, really great match, along with just the standalone of Gunther and Sheamus by himself. I can't remember if that was in the same calendar year, but that match was I would have put up there as well. But the triple threat, very, very strong match. I wish that MJF Bryan Danielson match would have got a little bit more love, because that Iron Man match that they have was in my opinion masterclass, man. You had at the end of it, you had MJF going trying to get oxygen, he couldn't breathe. And Daniel Bryanson over there doing jumping jacks and stuff like that. Like, keep on, let's go, let's keep going, man. I loved that. Loved everything that they brought into that match, and then the turn that happened after that match and everything that culminated after. I also think Swerve and Hangman was a great option as well. That blood spot's going to be iconic for years and years and years to come. So, like, I mean, strong picks, but man, that triple threat and the IC love, gotta love it.
Yeah, man. I for me, it's like it's all subjective, art's subjective, right? Like, we talk about this all the time.
Yep.
So it's like, you guys like what you like. That's why I wanted to have this conversation in this structure, where it's like we let our listeners, our followers, our the people that come to us for our opinions, for our thoughts, and know that they can fire off their opinions and thoughts, and be like, hey, maybe we can come to a middle ground on this, yada yada yada. That's why they come to us. That's why they listen to us, because we're here to talk to the people, to be for the people, and talk wrestling. And man, I gotta say, like, but also having our opinion on it just makes it that much better, you gave us y'all's match, let us give you our match, and that's what it's all about, is the love, for what we enjoy. P, what are you thinking? Household voted on this triple threat match, this immaculate triple threat match for the IC title. What are your thoughts on the match of the year voted on by the household?
So I suggested this match, and so I'm not mad that it won. I had a feeling this was the type of match that would win. But kind of a common theme. I don't know if this is my match of the year. It's ironic enough, because I'm the one that suggested it, and I did vote on it. But I was also stuck between two matches. And also, there was a third match that I suggested that to me was match of the year, and it was Jay versus Seth on Raw for the title.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
I think that was good too.
What'd you say?
I think that was good too. We also omitted that that Kenny and MJF match. That was a just kind of a throwaway on Dynamite. And I think I think what we tried to do when we made the category, we added the presence of what the bigger match was. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it just
those
with that particular match, I truly the fans in attendance and even those at home wanted Jay to win that match more than they even wanted him to beat Roman.
Oh yeah.
Like people were low key turning on Seth. Like, they were booing Seth and cheering Jay when they were doing strike exchanges and stuff. And it was one of those moments where it was like, y'all know Jay's not winning, but they didn't care. They wanted him to win. So that's one of the reasons why I'm like, just with the match itself and then the match feeling, the emotion that match created. But to me, because Boyce talked about the emotion he felt from Swerve Hangman, that was the Iron Survival match for me. I felt like there were so many crazy spots and there were so many grand moments. And I remember seeing that there was like 2 minutes left and I was pissed. I'm like, they are hoeing my boy. Look what they did to my boy.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Oh man, that match made Trick, right? That made Trick because
God.
for the entire match, you're like, oh, how they doing Trick? Why they doing Trick like this? What?
I was so mad.
He got pinned again. Again.
So good.
So when you look at
So
moments,
good.
I think
Great
that's
moment.
one of the reasons why I'm like, yeah, I love that match so much. But I think it's also another similar to the point that Voice made. A lot of people aren't watching NXT like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of NXT 2.0 has left a certain taste in people's mouth.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so people aren't really looking at the NXT that has progressed since then. Just like AEW is still the new Fed. Whether we realize it, like it or not, it's still the new Fed. So it's still taking people getting accustomed and used to AEW being a thing. And then, oh, where do I stream it? Where do I watch it? Where not, whatever. Accessibility is a very big thing. You find that out in business and marketing and workforce development. Accessibility is extremely important. And I feel like WWE has made their stuff more accessible, but they've also had over 70 years to do that. Like, I believe the WWE is older than the NBA.
I think it is.
Yeah, I believe the WWE.
I think
back to
the lineage of it, I think it goes way back.
Yeah, I want to say it's like 1930s, 1940s is how old the WWE is. But that's what I'm getting at is they've had the time to do this stuff. And I think that's why matches like Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew kind of get the platform they get because it's more accessible to the broader audience.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah.
And granted, though NXT is a part of WWE, we've also seen over the years that how many NXT call-ups happens and fans have no idea who they are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And part of that is because they're watching SmackDown, they're watching Raw, and NXT is the new WWE CW or Velocity or Heat. Your hardcore fans are watching it. Your casual fans have to be given a reason to watch, you know?
Right.
But I love the Iron Survival match because it made Trick. Because it felt like Trick came into that match a superstar, and yet they were hoeing him. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? And then just that sequence in the end, because I straight up thought, I'm like, yo, they're really about to have this go to sudden death. They're going to have Swerve somehow tie it. Oh, one? So I had emotion from that. Honestly, that was an oh shit moment for me, that last sequence of events, stuff like that. But I think that was one of the beautiful things about 2023 in wrestling is we had so many great things because another match I felt should have been up there was Billy Stark's Athena. Because was Billy Stark's Athena up there?
No, it wasn't.
And that's what I'm saying. Like
really
and, hey,
should have been up there.
As somebody who is a friend and a fan of Young Goat William, I love that match between Billy and Athena. I love what they put out there. I love what they did. And I feel like that's the beauty of professional wrestling in 2023. We were gifted so much great wrestling. It's hard to pick because a lot of the wrestling we're picking is TV wrestling. Let's not forget, indie wrestling has also been tearing it up recently. It's also been killing it. There are so many great matches with Darius Lockhart, Darius Carter, Brian Keith, Calvin Tankman, the TME, because they used to be the main event, but now they're TME because there's 2 tag teams called main event.
Right.
Myself, god damn it. There's so much great wrestling going on all throughout, and I think 2023 was an example of, hey, this is what wrestling can be if you allow it and if you let it. So I respect the household fan base for the votes that they made. And all I ask them to do is, if you love wrestling, show that love. Go to your independent shows. Watch stuff on TV. Watch the stuff on social media, and you get the clips. YouTube is still technically social media, so watch the YouTube clips and things like that. Share stuff. Invite your friends. Because at the end of the day, if we want this business to get bigger and grow and become popular, it takes us sharing this with people. Whereas the people you love, the people you hate, the people you kind of like, the people that you might want to backhand some days, share them with everybody, because anybody can get it and everybody should.
And that's a good point, man. So, like, I hearken to the days when I started this podcast. And I'll keep this short. You know, when I first started this podcast, it was just something I was doing for fun with some homies because we watched wrestling on television. And then I don't know what compelled me to want to go to some. I'd already been going to some local shows over in Anderson, over in Muncie, and but as far as doing what I started to do, as far as interviewing talent, doing commentary and stuff, I don't know when it started clicking. When I was like, "This is happening. Oh, this is all right. Are we off to the races now?" But like now, it went from just being one thing to a completely different responsibility, and a lot of the backbone of this podcast was promoting independent wrestling, you know, getting people out there, getting their names out there, helping and sharing and being a part of that carousel that helps keep people's name in the mouth, keep shows, you know, talked about, and also always mix in there, you know, mainstream wrestling to keep engagement. You know, it's just such a big smorgasbord of what we do as far as the media of wrestling, because like you said, there's layers to it. There's not just WWE. And for the longest time, there's so many people, and there's still a lot of people that think that WWE is literally the only show in town. You know why? Because they don't think about wrestling like that. They don't dig as deep as we dig. They don't go as far as we go to figure out, oh, where's wrestling? Where can I go see wrestling? I already know in our part, we're only going to get WWE shows 2-3 times a year, possibly, you know. So where can I go to enjoy this? Like every Saturday, I can go to different places around this county, blah blah blah, yada yada. I can go here and go there, you know. Like it's just all about opening up your mind and supporting indie wrestling and continuing to spread what these great talents do and help them get the promotion that they deserve to jump into that next upper echelon. And with that being said, that's just a great segue into what the next thing I want to talk about. And we talk about great indie wrestling. I want to talk a little bit about Emerge. And Emergence Day looms. Emergence Day is coming up, Emerge 74. That is January 6th. That's coming up right around the corner. Ooh, Columbus, Indiana. I'm telling you, this show is going to be big. We talk about supporting independent professional wrestling. We talk about supporting independent professional wrestlers. Let's talk about an opportunity that a young man by the name of Paragon has.
I know that guy. That guy's my best friend.
Gotta love him, right? Gotta love him, right? Big opportunity ahead of him as he main events. Now, this is not his first main event at Emerge. And I know that because I was flanking this man at his last main event when I remember him winning the Outbreak Championship. And that was at a different level of this young man's career. Now he's developed into something more dangerous, something more calculated, something more focused to get the job done. And he has a big opportunity against a man known as Daniel Eads. Eads claims he's not done yet. And I don't know with the way that this man is keeping the championship around his waist, listen, this is not the bias here talking. You can say what you want to say. I'm just keeping it 100 down the middle.
He said, "Talk your shit."
I'm not sure if Daniel Eads is really ready for the paragon that is about to come his way. But I'm not going to keep talking. I done a whole lot of talking. Let me go ahead and let the man talk about it. P, you got a big opportunity ahead of you for a title that you've chased for a very long time. You've been at Emerge for a long time. And I know because I've been there with you. You know what I'm saying? You've been there longer than me. The moment is coming. It's big. It's huge. Yada, yada, whatever little, cliche things you want to say. Where's your head at going into this bout?
I've been with Emerge since early 2019. And I literally stepped foot in the door, won my first night, and said, I'm coming for all the gold. Almost a year to the day, I got my first opportunity for the Outbreak Championship, and it was against Daniel Eads. And it was right before the pandemic at that. That's back when I was the walking apocalypse. And I still show many signs of that, especially recently. But back then, I was in a different mindset. The issue was no one in Emerge had my back. People claim they had my back, but I was constantly fighting the numbers game. I have not lost a match in Emerge Wrestling without the numbers being against me. And I was this close to beating Daniel Eads. I was this my first championship with being in the company for less than a year. And then I got low blowed. And mind you, I had Daniel Eads in a submission. He was about to tap out, and his manager caught his hand and stopped it from happening. This was the beginning of 2020. Fast forward, I found myself some friends. I found me a squad. I found me a crew. I found a set of individuals that were like-minded like myself. And pretty much, I decided I was tired of people not having my back. I was tired of feeling like I was in this by myself. Finally get my shot at the Emerge Outbreak Championship again, and I win. I beat Braden Lee. After I beat Braden, more bull crap ensues. I get stripped of my championship. I come back, and once again, there's that numbers game. But back into the main event picture, I'm in the tournament to decide the number one contender for the title. I get to the finals. I'm in the main event. And I'm about to have Daniel Eads' number because he and I met the month before, and Daniel Eads sucker punches me after the match already had been thrown out. Deemed no contest. I'm about to have Daniel Eads beat again, and now I have both Dylan Cole and Morty putting their nose in my business. This last year has been righting the wrongs that have been committed against me in Emerge Wrestling. And I have righted the wrongs of Jeremy Hadley. I have righted the wrongs of Dylan Cole. I righted the wrongs of Jordan Cage. And right now, the wrong I have on me is Daniel Eads. And I know, Khan, you're not happy that I accepted the challenge, but I'm putting my career on the line to ensure that I can get this championship, because then it also means that if I win, Daniel himself is also gone. And Emerge doesn't have to be burdened or cursed with him anymore. I know you said that's not my fight. I don't have to fight for Emerge. I can fight for me. But at the end of the day, what kind of person would I be if I allow the likes of him to continue to do that to others? I had to be willing to put it all on the line. And sometimes you got to roll the dice, and if you crap out, at least you decided that fate was in your hands that day. Right now, fate's in my hands because anybody can get it, including me.
Anybody can get it. Yes, man.
But I will say this. Daniel Leeds, you have been handed everything in your career at Emerge Wrestling. You were handed a nice cushy spot in the stable. You were handed the Outbreak Championship. You were handed the longest reign for the Outbreak Championship due to a pandemic protecting you from me. You were handed your victory in the finals with all the assists and help that you have. And so now that you have this championship, I'm going to hand you this ass whooping. 84 days. When you and I meet, you will have been champion for 84 days. And you had the gall to be so confident that you're going to put your career on the line as well. Well, I promise you this, in those 84 days, on the 84th day, when you and I go toe-to-toe, I want you to remember how much you puffed out your chest. I want you to remember you saw past me. I want you to remember that every time you and I got in that ring together, I had you scared, which is why you had to seek help or use underhanded means. I want you to remember the face of the person who's going to take everything away from you that you work for. And if your manager decides to get his oompa loompa weeble wobble ass in the ring too, just know anybody can get it. Anybody will get it. And I'm going to be the champion that Emerge has needed for a mighty long time. And it's not just someone who looks like me, but someone who is saying, I don't care if you're male, female, non-binary, or whatever you may be. If you ever see me fight in the forest with a grizzly bear, help the bear. I don't care who you are. Pull up and get.
Hey, guys, that's going down. January 6th, Emergence Day, Emerge 74. It's going to be a great, great event. A lot of things going down. You guys already know the vibes here at In Your House, and a great opportunity to see somebody here, P, In Your House, world's most dangerous podcaster, see him in a big situation, doing his thing, doing what he does best. So that's going to be great for you, bro. And you already know I'm going to be in the building. Hype, you going to be there too, bro.
Yo, I'm gonna be in the building. Yo, I'm definitely pulling up from my best friend in that, man. I gotta see him shine, and I gotta see him take down the hierarchy that is Emerge right now.
It's gonna be great, man. Gonna be a movie. And once again, whatever I'm gonna be doing there, I'm gonna be there. Happy to be a part of it. Happy to put in that work because that's what I do. Wherever I'm at, you already know I'm that Swiss Army knife. I'm gonna give them everything that I got. Emerge Wrestling, come out, kick it with us, have a great show, see the crowning of a new king for Emerge Wrestling, and it's just another one of those great promotions that you can see locally. And hey, speaking of promotions, we got to slide on over to the Iyh Awards and do promotion of the year. That's right, we did promotion of the year this year as voted on by the household. Once again, truly appreciate you guys coming through and giving us that energy. I really feel like that as time moves forward, this is just going to grow, and we're going to do this yearly. So the nominees for the In Your House promotion of the year was WWE, AEW, NXT, TNA, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Drum roll, please. And the winner of the In Your House promotion of the year, voted by you guys, the household, was WWE. And I know it feels like, oh, WWE, shocker, right? I'm like, I get it. But sometimes, like, when you are just that good, that consistent, and especially with the transition that WWE has had to deal with as far as all the drama with Vince McMahon, the selling of the company, even with that noise there, they still managed to have the focal point of what they're doing be the incredible talent that's telling stories in the ring. The events are huge. They're selling out everywhere they go. They're going international. I mean, all signs are pointing up for the WWE. It's not it's not being a stand for WWE to say that they are the most successful right now. I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, and to speak for it, one of the categories for promotion of the year is actually under the umbrella of WWE. That's NXT. I mean, and that's not to say that there's not promotions coming up that's coming. I really think that with the rebranding that Impact is having with TNA, they're about to be shooting on up in 2024. I truly believe that. I believe they're on the upswing. AEW right now for me, I feel like they're just going to be middling a little bit. Maybe that needle will go up with Samoa Joe as champion. We'll definitely see. But right now for me, far and away, it just is WWE. I mean, following everything that's going on. And of course, it has everything to do also with like what P says as far as accessibility. Like it's easy. It's the most easiest access that you can get to as far as professional wrestling, especially here in the United States. But as far as quality wise, for me, consistency and everything that we see, it's WWE for me. Hype, what are you thinking, man? The household has voted WWE as promotion of the year. What are your thoughts?
I think that was a no-brainer. I myself, I voted NXT, which I think is still a vote for WWE if the numbers work out. But man, I everything that's going on in WWE right now, they're killing it on all cylinders. They are on fire. Not that kind of on fire. They don't have a lot of problems. Oh, sorry, we're not supposed to talk about that. Yeah, there's not like crazy people at the helm or anything like that. WWE is just hitting on all cylinders right now. Like you can't have them not be the
You've been
promotion
waiting
of the year.
all damn pods.
I'm sorry if you listen to the audio of this and you missed that greatness that I just popped up there, but look, it's hands down, man. It's just hands down, man. They're hitting on all cylinders. They have an embarrassment of riches, as Khan says, and they got so many problems or so many good people around them right now. They don't know what they're gonna book for the next 6 months, but they got open possibilities.
Yeah, man. It's always good to have those options. Everything that is saying, like, I know during the time, and this was years ago, before I met you, Hype, before I had the pleasure of meeting P, Voices is no longer with us. He had to run, so we send him our best wishes and Happy New Year from the Voice, Josh Joseph, to you guys out there in the household. Years ago, I was not happy with the WWE product. I mean, it was just stale, just so stale. Like it was just they was just going through the motions, and I wanted more out of wrestling, and that's really what pushed me. And I think a lot of fans are like that. Like a lot of independent wrestling fans are created out of spite of a stale WWE product. I mean, like, I looked for more. I looked for the TNAs. I looked for the Ring of Honors. I looked for these different, alternatives until I dug so deep that I'm like, wow, this stuff is in my own backyard. And then like, boom, now you in here now, bro. Like you in the mix, bro. Like, all right. So, it's crazy what's really out there when you really think about it. But at the top of the ladder here, it's WWE, man. And it's just crazy to think about as far as what they do, what they bring to the table. P, where are you at, man? What's your mindset? Promotion of the year. Fans voted WWE.
I mean, I agree with them. I would say my favorite was probably Impact this year or TNA.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between favorite and best. Something can be your favorite movie, does not make it the best movie.
Right.
My favorite was probably TNA as a whole this year, with NXT, which granted is still under the WWE umbrella, as a very, very, very close second. But with that being said, I look at WWE as a whole, and when you look at who they signed, who they re-signed, ways they did it. I mean, if you just look at the past couple of months, I mean, Orton returned, Kairi Sane resigned, Punk resigned, Truth returned. I feel like I'm missing some people.
There's been so many, and they've all been good. They've been good, solid.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. I'm like, when you think about how they handle certain things, it doesn't matter what you are a fan of, because it goes back to that conversation of tribalism. If you can put your tribalism aside and you look at things as they are, WWE has been doing a lot of great stuff. That does not mean other companies haven't been doing great stuff.
Bingo.
But when you are doing great things and you are doing them on a more accessible level, then it's more accessible. Yeah. It's like a restaurant, right? You could tell me how great this restaurant is all you want to, but until I travel all the way to that restaurant to get it, it's going to be it is. I love burgers. I mean, I love food, period. I'm a foodie. I'm a cook.
Oh, I love food, dog. Love it.
But one of my favorite foods, after a long week, I want a good burger, right? Around me, to me, the best fast food burger joint that I have around me is Steak and Shake. And the reason why I say Steak and Shake is because the other burger places that we have aren't always as accessible, whether there's fewer of them or they're farther away. And there's probably right now someone saying Steak and Shake, we got something called Joe's Burger House. Well, we don't have Joe's Burger House where I live. So Joe's Burger House don't help me because of accessibility. And that's what I'm thinking, with WWE, they put themselves in a situation where they're accessible. And some people may look at it as fast food wrestling, which is why I use, that analogy. But the thing is, when something is accessible to the masses, it's easier for them to literally digest, because I can't digest something I can't eat.
Right.
Makes sense.
True that. So makes sense. Guys, this has been a great episode here in your house, real heavy. This was our award show episode. We got a couple more just to fire off real quick. We'll put them in a cannon real quick and just shoot them off into the sunset. We didn't get a chance to get these ones voted on, but boom, here we go. In a shotgun right here. Hype, female wrestler of the year. Who are you thinking?
I think right now Athena is killing it. She's probably my female wrestler of the year. Everything she's done in ROH, everything she's done for that ROH women's title, absolutely killing it. And gun to my head, it's Athena.
Athena. P, what do you think? Female wrestler of the year.
Athena, hands down. Especially after that Billy Starks match, Athena, hands down.
Yes.
I think with her ability to not only hold the championship, but her ability to grow talent around her, we're seeing the most out of Athena. Something that we kind of saw shades of it as Ember Moon in NXT, but didn't really get a chance to see that on the main roster. I think it's Athena. I think Athena's a good pick. And hopefully whatever happens with her next, of course, she's still Ring of Honor Women's Champion, but I'd like to see her on a grander scale. I would really like to see her on AEW TV and start to take that ascension, because I think that she'd be the shot in the arm that division needs. Athena, I like that pick. Hypocrisy, who do you got as far as tag team of the year?
Tag team of the year is kind of a toughie, because in my mind, I don't think that the tag team, that in all tag team divisions, we've seen a lot of thrown together people, a lot of thrown together teams, whether it be like your MJFs, Adam Cole's, or your Cody Rhodes, Jey Usos, things like that. But I think as a consistent killing it tag team, FTR. That would be my tag team of the year.
FTR, always solid in the work that they do. And it makes sense. Pete, who do you got tag team of the year?
Tag team of the year isn't even a signed tag team. TME, Duke Davis, and Gannon. Those two, Gannon Jr. To me, they are tag team of the year. They are the perfect example of you can be the best and you don't have to have a contract. And to me, they are the best tag team going right now, whether it is on TV or in the independents. If you don't know who they are, you need to find out, because they are them dudes. And I'll put them against any of your favorites that are currently going right now. I put them against Judgment Day. I put them against FTR. I know they just broke up over the summer, but I put them against the Usos.
Yeah.
TME, TME, Duke Davis, and Gannon Jones Jr., they are the best tag team in all of wrestling as of right now.
I'll say that tag team wrestling, I always enjoyed. Big fan of tag team wrestling. I'm always a fan of a tag team that is to themselves as a tag team. I think it's great to see. I wish that I could say the name that I want to say, the names that I want to say. And that would be Life of the Party. To call them that, they just weren't on TV enough for me to really give it to them. I would say FTR, as far as that goes, but like, I don't know, Katana Chance, Caden Carter. Anytime they're on TV, they were jumping off the screen to me. Like, the only reason I didn't give them Tag Team of the Year for me is just because they weren't presented on TV as much as they could have been. And if they should have been, we all know they recently won the tag titles, but like,
Right.
it's like if they were, it would mean more if they would have been on TV more. And I really feel like they're just a huge shot in the arm for a division that has no direction at all. And you make them the tag team champions, a tag team that is a tag team in the women's division, something that we ain't really seeing like that. Like, the Iconics was another one. Like, I'm like, you slide the Iconics right up into that tag team championship role, but they're not around anymore. And Life of the Party.
Mind you, though, Khan, you can also say this though about Life of the Party. I believe they are currently the only tag team to hold both the NXT and main roster women's tag titles in the same year.
See, that's big too. I mean, this, like, I'm kind of talking myself into it now. Like,
and that was also unifying the titles too. So
right. Like, just once again, it's almost like how not how the WWE, but how the NBA is. Like, you got to play so many games to be, to be considered for the awards. Like, I just feel like if we would have seen them more consistently on TV, it would have been a lot, because there's such a shot in the arm of what is needed. Like, they're perfect for what is needed in that division at the time, and it's a cohesive unit. I love it. I enjoy it. I'm changing my damn pick. I'm going Life of the Party. I talked myself into it, man. I'm going Life of the freaking Party.
I like it.
Yeah, they're just great stuff, man. All right, we'll do one more, then we'll slide out of here with some resolutions. PLE of the year, pay-per-view of the year, whatever. What are you thinking, Mr. Jones?
Fastlane. I think Fastlane was my pay-per-view of the year, and it was it's because I'm a homer. It's because I'm a homer, and it's a cheap pop, and I loved everything about what they maybe tried to promise us for the future of Indiana. So,
hey man, you gotta go. See, it's hard to not say that one because I was there for that one. It was such a great show. Yeah. P, what do you got?
It might be recency bias. I'm gonna say Deadline. I don't feel like they've really had any matches that really missed. They have some matches that have been a little better, yes, but I don't think they really had any matches that missed. See, I thought you were going to do Rising Star of the Year, but yeah, I don't think Deadline for me had a match that missed, so that's what I'm going with.
I like that.
Okay. I like that one too, man. It's so hard not to say Fastlane. Like, I think about the last calendar year of pro wrestling and what we've seen, and man, there's just so many great shows. But one that really sticks out to me that keeps sticking into my head, man, it's Backlash from this past year. I keep going back to that because the energy of the crowd, I keep going back to like the freshness, and it's not, I understand match quality. I get it. I totally get it. Like, but I'm thinking more like energy from the crowd, and like maybe crowd of the year. Maybe they should have been crowd of the year, but like the energy that they brought just made everything mean so much more. And like, it was,
that was the Bad Bunny one, right?
Yes, that was Bad Bunny. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. I changed my pick.
They was alive, bro.
I changed my pick, and I changed it solely for Bad Bunny, because when his music came out and he's walking out, and you had that entire arena.
Oh
man,
it was so hype, bro. I still watch that video from time to time, and it still gives me goosebumps. I'm like, man, can you imagine what that man's thinking through his head? I mean, can you imagine being in your home, everybody singing your song, going crazy right there, doing something that you love? Like, oh my God. He was like,
you know what? I feel like it's slightly different though, because he's used to that with his concerts.
Yeah.
So
Oh
to
yeah.
be able
Oh
to
yeah.
live your other dream was maybe music was always one of his dreams, but to now live your wrestling childhood dream and their
Yeah.
chance of singing your song that you made as you're now walking down the entrance ramp to the ring, that's got to be a whole different vibe.
Oh my
Absolutely.
God. Oh my God. Like, what an amazing moment. I mean, and you talked a little bit earlier, P, about Damian Priest and missing out on WrestleMania. Man, he had his WrestleMania moment. It was just backlash. Man, it was just great, man. It was a great night for the LWO. It was a great night for Zelina Vega. It was just like, I'm just thinking in the lane of like, man, I just love the energy. And I always go back to that. I'm like, man, that was like the energy that crowd gave just was everything. I was just like invested, like super invested. And it's just a testament to like, if the crowd gets into it, how much more it makes the competition step up to another level. And I think when everybody's in sync in that way, when the wrestlers are like, yeah, I'm into this because they into this, and then the wrestlers or the crowd is like, I'm into this because like here I am, I'm enjoying this moment. I'm not like worrying about being on the, and there's there's people on the phone or whatever, but I felt like that for people it was like more in that moment and enjoying it, because this is a place that doesn't get wrestling shows like that. So like for them to bring that energy, I'm like, please go back, because that was just an incredible moment, not just for WWE, but for wrestling as a whole in my eyes.
Really was. Every one of those international pay-per-views really did hit, and the crowds were all on point for them, which really elevated the pay-per-views as a whole.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. All right, man. All right. We'll do. Let's just fire off. I want to fire off breakout star to you. You brought it up. Let's do it. Hype. Who you got?
My breakout star of this year.
Yeah.
I want to say Swerve, right? But like I feel like you guys will, and people will disagree with he's not a breakout. But I think he broke out in a bigger way this year than he ever has before. So
Well, I think
that is my answer.
A rising star, I think that's what makes the difference. Because normally breakout, when I hear breakout, I'm thinking like rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Whereas when I hear rising star can also be the most improved. It could be, the person that switched companies, but that's just my perspective. But I hear what you're saying, though.
I understand that. If we're talking like rookie year, I don't know. I don't even know if Trick would still qualify. Would he still qualify?
I put him in there.
First NXT match until this year.
Right. So like I think he would have to be that person for me then. If it's based on like a rookie-ish category, because I think like this is his first like solo year like that. So he'd have to be my guy.
He's a manager for a minute. What you got, P?
Trick for rookie and Dom for rising.
Like that.
I like that. That's good. That's good. I mean, it's Trick Williams, man. I mean, it's Trick Williams. I mean, when I think about the stuff that he's done, as just playing the manager role for Carmelo Hayes, and then the development that he's had, you hear the entrance music. My God, it's a presence. When he comes out, it's a presence. Like, and it's like they're capitalizing on that. Like it's the way that, and then you got Booker T doing the ad libs in the background. You love to hear it, and I'm like, man, this is a vibe. It's a vibe. It's like it's energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's good energy. And I'm like, all right, this man is out here like, this is Trick Williams. And then I really think when he had his moment for the Iron Survival match, like for me, I talk a lot about like taking that next leap and going into that next upper echelon. I think that match alone and that finish alone was that leap for him to take him to that next level. And I'm excited to see what's next for Trick Williams. I do believe he has a championship opportunity this coming Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Against Dragunov. Well, once again, for me, what a great week to be off. I mean, I've got so much stuff to look at. It's gonna be great. So let's end this show out. I wanted to do this. I want to make sure that we squeeze it in. I know. It's Sunday. Everybody's got stuff cracking and whatnot. We appreciate everybody that's joined us. But we'll close it out with some New Year's resolutions here, as I want to stay within the festivities and whatnot. So, Hype, what do you got as far as a wrestling New Year's resolution, and then maybe a personal one for life? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, I think my New Year's resolution for this year is, I guess it could be kind of wrestling related, but also life related. I don't fully believe in resolutions, but this year I'm gonna do a backflip.
Backflip.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I got, man.
Don't
All right. Hey. All right. A backflip. I'm here for it. All right. P, what do you got, man?
So kind of like Pac, I don't really do resolutions because I feel like resolutions are meant to be broken. I do New Year goals. And my main goal is to take back and reclaim everything 2020 stole from me in the year of 2024. The places I was supposed to go, things I was supposed to do, debuts I was supposed to have, I'm reclaiming my time. So whether it's the debut in Canada that I have coming up, me working on going to Mexico, some of the companies, some of the championships, some of the people that I'm supposed to face, or some people I just want to, break bread with. And also working on some music. So everything that was supposed to happen that the pandemic took from me, I'm reclaiming that this year. And I'm standing on that.
I dig that.
I understand that. I guess for me, resolution, I guess people see resolution and they may put it in a negative connotation, but for me, it's just like a set of goals, something that I think that I want to work towards and try to do. And for me, wrestling wise, is really learn more about the backstage way of things. I mean production. Like I want to do more of that. I like being on screen. It's been a vibe, and I want to continue to do it. But I also want to build my mind and become smarter about it and learn more and be in that type of lane to where it's like, hey, we know he's entertaining, but also he knows what the hell he's talking about and knows what he's doing. So and another thing is kind of be more in the moment, be more appreciative of the moments that are happening as they are happening and live in those moments and not get so caught up in this and that and what could go wrong. And because I think a lot of us do that, like we get so caught up in the past or worry about the future that we don't appreciate the moment. So for me, it's definitely be more appreciative of the moments, live in those moments, experience those moments, and be able to be more reflective on those moments as the years go by because of the precision that I put towards paying attention and being present and in that moment. So for me, that's it. Is just smarten up and be more present. So easy stuff for somebody that's motivated. And I feel like that this group of people here is motivated. Guys, this was a great episode here at In Your House. It was our New Year's special, and we got some more great content coming for you guys this week. Some great guests that's coming up.
Big things coming this week, right?
A lot of stuff. I'll drop it here real quick before we slide out of here. That as you guys know, my man, our brother podcast over there, the Pope Elijah Burke, he's got his big show that is coming up, Love Alive charity and whatnot. They've got the Duval Brawl that's going to be coming up, and he's very focused on that because of his Love Alive charity and the involvement that it has. And he does do more than just throw on a wrestling show. He actually feeds and clothes homeless, people. So, it's a great vibe. And when he's in that vibe, when he's in that line of having to take care of that business and whatnot, he doesn't have time to do his podcast. Of course, his podcast, The Pope's Point of View, a top 50 pro wrestling podcast across the not just the country, guys, across the world, top 50. So when he can't do that, Man's got to step in and do those episodes. And I always enjoy doing those because it's always a good opportunity to have my thoughts and feelings projected across a bigger landscape. There it is, the logo there, Pope's Point of View. Make sure that you follow him. That is on Apple Podcasts. That's on Spotify. Of course, also follow Pope TV for his great interview series he's bringing in. It's great stuff. But my man Hype, he is going to be coming on and doing the show with me for this coming episode of the Pope's Point of View, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a great opportunity for you to be heard by much more people, bro. What are you thinking about being able to slide up on that show and doing it with me?
Yo, I'm so excited about that. Yeah, like I know my resolution was kind of weak. I just want to do a backflip, but that's because I got so many good things coming this year that I'm so excited. One being this Pope's Point of View, because we get to invade Pope's Point of View with a little householdness, right? And I can be my hypocritical self. I know Pope calls me producer Red, but like, yeah, I can be the hypocritical one, and we can take over Pope's Point of View for a day. I like it.
That's going to be fun. It's going to be a vibe. And I'm excited for that. I've got so much stuff that's coming this week that I'm excited for. It's always nice to have some time. P, we already know we talked a little bit about that big match that you got coming up. You kind of alluded a little bit to your debut in Canada, which is going to be big. Can you give us a little bit about what you got going on before we slide out of here?
So this Friday, which actually is going to be my mom's birthday, I'm returning.
Happy birthday.
I'll let her know y'all said that. I'm returning to Paradigm Pro Wrestling for the first time in 5 years.
Oh, okay.
And then the very next night, I'm putting my career on the line against Daniel Lees to try to finally capture that Emerge Heavyweight Championship. The following week, me and my big brother tag team partner, He Is More, Chris Moore, the Wu Pass Clan is back together, and the Wu Pass Clan is going to be taking on the Bro Bros at Frontline Pro Wrestling in Wisconsin. And then the following week, I'm going to be making my Canada debut for Demand Lucha. And this is just how I'm starting the year off, man. So if this is the beginning, wait till you see the end.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Absolutely love it. Like what you're doing right now, like when we talked about bringing you on this show, man, like I've been telling you that in the last like month or so that I haven't really been doing the podcast, and I've just been kind of, because, you know, peak season, whatnot, whatever. But when I do that, I'm listening to a bunch of different podcasts, and like I'm listening to like basketball podcasts. I'm enjoying real ones with Logan Murdoch and Raja Bell, who if you guys don't, and the household don't know, Raja Bell, NBA player, played for the Jazz, played for the Philadelphia 76ers, great defender, scrappy guy. I've also listened to Austin Rivers podcast, another guy who has had a solid NBA career and is rolling. You know, you think about guys like Kevin Garnett, who has a podcast now. Jeff Teague is apparently a really great podcaster. And what you're doing now as far as actively taking bookings and still in the midst of a very active professional wrestling career and still coming on and giving your thoughts on professional wrestling, like that's always like a dicey thing to walk down. I think that's something that Austin Rivers said. It's like when you're still actively, in the game, but you got to talk about the game. You got to kind of walk around how you talk about the game. So it's like, it's just an interesting vibe that you're doing as far as podcasting and taking bookings, man. And I'm excited to see what we do in 2024. It's going to be a really great year for everybody, I do believe.
I'm looking forward to it. And like you said, you got to watch what you say, because I've seen wrestlers have podcasts, and they talk themselves out of tryouts and out of contracts. So you got to be mindful about what you say. But the thing is, anybody can get it. I'm going to be real. And I would rather just keep quiet than to, lie. So yeah. I'm going to just be like, you know what? I ain't got nothing to say, because I ain't got nothing nice to say.
Right, yep.
Here, this is what we're about to talk about right now. I hope y'all ready. Got your tea? because we about to sip on it.
It's like that old adage: if you don't got nothing to say, don't say nothing at all. But I think that a lot of people are going to have a lot of good things to say about this episode of In Your House. Appreciate y'all, of course, coming on. You guys out there at the household, but of course, my co-host here. We're doing it, man. Hopping into a new year, doing the doggone thing. It's going to be great. You guys have a happy new year. If you guys go out, stay safe. If you guys out there in the household go out, please stay safe and don't drink and drive. Don't be a knucklehead and be defensive in your driving tonight. Guys, I want to let I'm talking about, guys, that is at Hollywood House. And of course, that is on Facebook and that's on X. I don't even do no tweeting or Xing or whatever they call it. But if you want to find me, hey, I'm there. But also at the Hollywood House, that's on IG. And guys, if you do that, make sure that you spell my name right. And that's HOWSC. And the W stands for work. So, guys, you already
Work.
you guys already know the vibe. Hop on this bandwagon, get on or get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and have a great and prosperous new year. Peace.
Peace. We out.